What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are on day 12 of our month long Black History Month uh, of unpacking Black history in the Bible. Black history in the Bible, and we have uh, en- been enlightened over these last 11 days, and we're going to continue that today. We ended yesterday, we were looking at some historical resources that prove that the children of Israel were people of color, even though we see today in the land of Israel, we see people who are not people of color, and the narrative that has been pushed is that those are the chosen people, those are the people of God, those are the chosen ones. And so we see that in this country, that is the narrative that is pushed, that is the narrative that is pushed all over the world. And so what we are trying to do is to dispel that narrative and look at what the Bible and history has to say. And you would be surprised at the information that is out there that dispels what we have been told all of these years. And so over this last, 11 days, we have been unpacking. We've looked at where life began. We looked at the Garden of Eden, where the Garden of Eden was. We looked at the distorted truth that the children of Israel were in Egyptian bondage for 400 years. We have looked at different individuals. We realize that many of the individuals, in fact, most of the individuals in Scripture, were people of color. And we are now at the place where we are looking at historical uh, resources, historical documents that prove that the children of Israel were people of color, people of color. And I ask that you guys stay with me because we're going somewhere with this. Because it's not just important that the people of the book were people of color, but all of that. Um, it's important for us to know because if they've been lying, if we've been getting a distorted view of that, what else could they be lying about? And so it has to be important because if it was not important, why would they not tell the truth? Why would they not just, why would they not just say, hey, the children of the book were people of color? Because then they have to admit that uh, Jesus was a person of color. And we know that, the majority of our brothers and sisters, uh, our European brothers and sisters, most of them, they will not worship a black Jesus. They just won't. And so, when you get rid of that narrative that all of these individuals in the Bible were white, then you have to come face to face with the fact that, it is an object of white supremacy when we are continually told that these individuals in Scripture were white, that they were European, when in actuality they were not. But we're going to continue in our lesson today. And so let's unpack this thing a little bit more. And so we're going to start. This is in the book, An Account of Timbuktu and Hausa Territories in the Interior of Africa. This is good. This is good, Saints. This is good. It says, this place is reported, is reported to be inhabited by one of the lost tribes of Israel, possibly an immigration from the lost tribe of Judah. Yehuda in African Arabic signifies Judah. Yehudi signifies Jew. It is not impossible that many of the lost tribes of Israel may be dispersed in the interior regions of Africa when we shall become better acquainted with that continent. It is certain that some of the nations possessed the country eastward of Palestine when the Israelites were a favored nation have immigrated to Africa. Have immigrated to Africa. Now, what's crazy is this, as I mentioned previously, we didn't write these books. We didn't write these books. And so when it mentions all of this, this is telling us that, they are and were fully aware of who the people of God are and were. They're fully aware. But they have chosen not to tell us. For what reason? Why have they chosen to keep all of this information hidden? Because they won't tell you. I mean, you go to school, they won't tell you this. You go to seminary, they won't tell you this. You go to your church, they won't tell you this. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this. And so that's why this is the reason why you have a lot of our Black Hebrew Israelite brethren, who are, for lack of a better word, they are getting a lot of us, color folk, okay, people of color. A lot of us are migrating over to the Black Hebrew Israelites because we find there's a place of belonging there. There's a place of belonging there. And so when you can read this stuff in Scripture, when you can read this stuff in Scripture and you can see this stuff in history, but then because you are a person of color and you are looking for some kind of belonging, okay, but then when you go to your church and your pastor tells you it doesn't matter, okay, it doesn't matter that everybody is propping up a white Jesus, that doesn't matter. And so when you're going to your church and your pastor tell you this stuff doesn't matter, then but you're looking for a place of belonging, then naturally you're going to navigate to a place where you feel like, you have some belonging. And so that's why many of us are navigating to these African Kemetics, African spirituality, and Black Hebrew Israelites and Nation of Islam, because especially today as people of color, we desire belonging. Because when we think about Christianity, what we see is MAGA. That's what we think about. We think about all those folk who voted for MAGA, individuals who call themselves followers of the Most High God, but yet they voted for somebody like that. Yet they don't have a problem with us being shot in the back. And we could continue on. And so when we don't talk about this stuff, when this stuff is hidden and we don't talk about this stuff, then it's natural for our people. And it's being naive to think that, a couple years ago, Kyrie Irving, he tweets a video, Hebrews of a documentary, Hebrews to Negroes. He tweets this documentary, and then millions of people go and watch the documentary. Millions of people go and watch the documentary. And I'm sure if millions of people watch the documentary, a lot of those individuals had questions. They may not have watched the whole thing. They may not have believed everything, but there is a lot that they probably took out of it. And they probably saw that, you know what? Why is my pastor not preaching this? Why is my pastor not preaching this? And then all of a sudden, when I ask my pastor, he tells me this stuff doesn't matter. This stuff, doesn't matter. Okay. But yet you're still telling me that, hey, we were in Israel, we were in bondage for 400 years, even though the Bible doesn't tell us that. You tell us that we're Gentiles, even though the Bible doesn't tell us that. And so when I'm hearing that from my pastor, but I'm seeing something different somewhere else, then it causes me to leave, to have to, I need to find somewhere else where I feel like I'm getting truth. Not only truth, where I feel like I'm finding a sense of belonging. And so this stuff is important. This stuff is important. And folk can tell you that it's not, and that's why many of our churches are empty. Many of our churches are empty because people want more. People want more. They want truth, and they're not finding it. They're not finding it. The reality is, honestly, they're not finding it in many of our churches. They're just not. But let's continue on. Let's continue on. So it says we're looking at the account of Timbuktu and Hausa territories. So let's go back. What is this place Yehuda? What is Yehuda? All right. What is this place called Yehuda? Well, Wikipedia says the kingdom of Weda, which is also called Yehuda. You'll find it says Yehuda, Weda, Judah. It says the kingdom of Weda, known locally as Glexway, Glehu, but also known and spelt in old literature as Weda, Weda, Judah, Yuda, Weda, Judah, and Judah, Yoruba, um, Igelefe, Yoruba is a Nigerian language. French Ouida was a kingdom on the west coast of Africa in what is now Benin. It was a major slave trading area which exported more than 1 million Africans to the United States, the Caribbean, and Brazil before closing its trade in the 1860s. So it was on the west coast of Africa in what is now Benin. What is now Benin. All right. So where is that? Right here. This is a close-up map of that area, and so you can see uh, where it says Slave Coast right there in the middle, and then if you notice at the top, right here at the top, it says Kingdom of Judah, Kingdom of Judah or Weda. Kingdom of Judah or Weda. Why does it say Kingdom of Judah? Because that's where the Kingdom of Judah was. That's where the Kingdom of Judah was. When the children of Israel, when they migrated, when they left Israel, what we today call Israel in AD 70, they dispersed into North Africa and then into West Africa and the rest of Africa. The kingdom of Judah found themselves migrated to the west coast of Africa in this area that we today call Benin, which was back then also called the slave coast, because of course this is where we came from the slave coast. All right. So this area was called the slave coast. It's called the Kingdom of Judah, Kingdom of Judah, or Weda, or Yehuda. All right. So here's another map. All right. That same area, it's called Guinea. And I want you to notice at the top that it says right above that, it mentions Negro land. It mentions Negro land. Now, all of this is the same area. All of this is the same area. Now, I want you to notice that these are two different maps. These are two different maps, but all of them are giving us basically the same information. They're telling us that this particular area was called Guinea, and then here's another map, a Negro land map. All right, a Negro land map. Why was it called Negro land? What is Negro land? Well, a Negro, as I'm sure most of y'all know, Negro means black. Negro means black in Portuguese. This is in this particular area. This is the term that the Portuguese would use to distinguish between the Hebrews, or quote unquote Jews, and the native Africans, because the native Africans were descendants of Ham, the Hebrews were descendants of Shem. So on these maps, when you see the name Negro land, they were identifying where the Jews or the Hebrews were. They were identifying where the Jews or the Hebrews were. That's what they're talking about in this on this Negro land map. That's what they're talking about. So on this 1794 map, this is a map by a Muslim cartographer. A cartographer is a map maker. Cartographer named Muhammad al-Idrisi. Muhammad al-Idrisi. Now, if you notice over here on your right-hand side, on my right-hand side, it says this is in that same area, Negro land. Now, if you blow the map up, it'll say Negritia. All right, but it's still the same area. So it'll say Negritia or Negro land. It'll say Negritia or Negro land. So you probably can't see it, so I bring it up, blow it up a little bit. It says in that area called Lamlam, it says according to Idrisi, all right, that's Muhammad al-Idrisi, the land hereabout was peopled by Jews. Was peopled by Jews. So that particular area, that's in Lamlam, all right, which was in Negro land. That particular area, Negro land, was peopled or occupied by Jews. Occupied by Jews. And so this stuff, this information that I'm sharing is not, it's a secret to us. It's a secret to us because we don't know. But the powers that be know. They know who we are. They know who we are. They know that those of us who came to this continent, came to this country during the transatlantic slave trade, are descendants of the literal children of Israel. How do we know? Let's look at more proof. In the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, in reference to Ham, talking about Ham, it says, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor or the father of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. He became the father, the progenitor of the dark races of black folk, not the Negroes. Hold on. I thought the Negroes, us, we were black. I thought the Negroes were the dark races. According to Zondervan, Ham is the father of the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Ethiopians, Canaanites, all of those individuals that we talked about previously, but he was not the father of the Negroes. He was not the father of the Negroes because the Negroes were descendants of Shem. The Negroes were those who were in the lineage of Shem and Abraham and Jacob and Isaac. Those individuals were the Hebrews. All right, those are the Hebrews. And so this thing is not a secret. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Everybody knows. We're the only ones that don't know. We're the only ones, in fact, that are not just that some of us don't know, but we are choosing to be blinded. We're choosing to be blinded because individuals, I'll talk to some folk, and they'll see this proof right here. And they'll still make, all kind of excuses why they'll say, no, we're not just makes no sense. Makes no sense. But let me give you one more piece of proof for this lesson today. This is crazy. This is on the State Department's website. The State Department. I'm going to say it one more time. The State Department's website. It says, Memorandum for the President by Henry Kissinger, January 28th, 1969. Biafra. Now, in a previous lesson, we talked about the Bight of Biafra, which is over there by Benin, all right? Which is over there by Benin. It's this area right there by Benin, all right? As a matter of fact, let me see. This is the Bight of Biafra, all right? This is the Bight of Biafra, all right? So it says, Colonel Ojukwu, a Nigerian colonel, 35, British-trained, erstwhile playboy, presides over the popular support and military morale of a people convinced that defeat means extinction. The Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. Gifted, aggressive, westernized, at best envied and resented, but mostly despised by the mass of their neighbors in the Federation. The Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. I mean, how much clearer does it need to be? How much clearer does it need to be? And so we talked about how the Igbos, we talked about in another lesson about how the Igbos were the ones that the slave traders targeted when they went to West Africa. Those are the ones that they targeted. Those are the ones they brought to this country. Those are the ones they dropped off in the Caribbean. Those are the ones they took. Those are the ones that they scattered all over the world. The Igbos. In fact, if you do your African ancestry, so I did my ancestry DNA. Okay, now I'm not about ancestry. I've done ancestry. Ancestry DNA, ancestry.com DNA is going to give you your percentage of where you're from. But if you do African ancestry, it will tell you the tribe. It will tell you the tribe. And I'm not surprised I found out that I was Igbo. which means that I am literally, and I'm sure if you did your if you did your African ancestry, all right, you will find out that you are most likely Igbo or one of those tribes that were in that Niger Delta area. Individuals who, according to history and the Bible, were the children of Israel. Well, the Judah, I mean, children of kingdom of Judah. And so this stuff is not a secret. It's a secret to us, but everybody knows. Everybody knows who we are. It's just that we don't know. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake our people up. Wake our people up because we need to know who we are. And when we know who we are, we'll live like the people God has called for us to be. We're going to end on that note. We'll pick up tomorrow and we're going to unpack this thing some more. Blessings. I pray that you have been blessed by today's presentation, and we'll see you